Hey there, my name's Nader Nadernejad. I'm the director of Nadernejad Media, and I help people fix their online reputations. We work with companies and individuals to help them boost their online reputation. That's a Google search presence, that's through communications, it's on every single platform. We fire at all cylinders to help you achieve the online presence you've always wanted. Today's video, top 5 communications and online reputation management tips that will help you boost your online reputation and manage and maintain it. The best thing you can ever do is to communicate with your stakeholders. You need to meet their expectations. So it's outlining what are my stakeholders' expectations and how do I meet them. Now, once those objectives have been met or even partially met, what you need to do is communicate that with your stakeholders so they can see, okay, here's the work we're doing, we're getting communications, and the truth is most stakeholders want to be communicated with more frequently than less. So if you feel like you're sending too many communications, make sure that those communications contain factual information, a breakdown of all the amazing things that you're doing and all the expectations that you're meeting. We want concretely, I did this, we did this, we did this. You want it broken down. You want to avoid fluff. Once you're setting those direct communications to stakeholders, the next thing is understanding. Even if some bad things have happened, you need to communicate your strengths. Communicate your strengths with your stakeholders and everybody that engages with your business. And you need to make sure that everybody is engaged. If you're not engaging people enough, you need to hire more people or use automation to make sure everybody is being reached with these communications directly about the positive things you're doing. Now, once you're taking those direct pieces of communication, they should go on social media, they should go on Twitter, they should go on Facebook, and all of these platforms need to rank on Google for your name. Make sure it's consistent across platforms. If your business is Bob's Consulting, make sure Bob's Consulting has a Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and they're all named the same thing. Make sure those emails are going out to stakeholders regularly. Now, once you're creating that content, you're setting it to stakeholders, you're putting it on social media, and you're talking about the great things you're doing, the next step is to also create some video content. This sort of face-to-face interaction makes up for being in person. And whether you can create a video or host a live webinar or do something that actually brings people in that allows them to directly engage with you, those things are all going to help you boost your online reputation. But let's talk about the concretes. Let's get into the granular tips. Have somebody internally write articles for your business on behalf of your business. This is extremely important because long form content not only ranks online, but it can be linked to within your communications to stakeholders. So if you write a long email about all the great things you're doing, you can also say, check out this 1,000-word article which explores the amazing things that we're doing. So it's such deep and rich content that really goes to prove, back up, and source all the amazing things that you're doing. So I think about long-form content on two fronts. So the first front is posting the long-form content on your website, informational resources for your audience and your stakeholders to access whenever they please. And the second one is more of a public relations strategy. Write content that you can pitch to other blogs and news sites, or even, Google My Business, or, if you're in the heating, ventilation, air conditioning industry or space, you might pitch to a blog there, or you might even put your business listing there. You want external sites linking to your site. Not only will it boost the domain authority and power of your site and all the content you publish on it to give it superiority over the other links, but it's also going to drive more positive feedback and engagement with your site, and it's going to rank on the internet. You're going to bury negative content with positive media that originated from you. So this is why it's so important to create positive content and not only publish it on your own site, but publish it on other sites as well. And if it's too expensive to have somebody do this internally, it is very inexpensive to have somebody do it project by project. So having somebody write a 1,000-word article, you can pay them 10 cents a word, and that's a standard going rate. That's not too bad. That's $100. And you can have someone create 10 articles. These assets can be used as pillar content, which you can create visual content, and I can read it on video, and I can create an audio piece, and I start with that piece of content, and I build out. My pillar content originates with video and then it goes to text, but you might have your own strategy there too. My last tip is to hire a publicist. You want positive news that starts and originates with you to be published on the internet. Now, if this is journalistic content, so if your publicist is finding journalists to write stories about you, they're gonna write more impartial, it's not gonna be promotional content. But if you start with a story or the event and you find a newsworthy item that you can hand to your publicist who is willing to be on board with you and to pitch the news media about the things you're doing, it's really going to help you because it's going to up the amount of mentions you get in the news that are positive and communicate your message. Your publicist needs to be strategic enough to be able to feed the news media content that they can run with so that your narrative still runs through even though the journalist has worked the story. And this is one of the most important tips. A lot of people don't know how to hire a publicist, but ideally it comes down to a few things. That publicist must be interested and on board with what you're doing. Just because you hire them does not mean that they're going to be your publicist. They need to feel connected and engaged and believe in the message you want to spread. Second of all, you need to look at a few people. What are certain publicist strengths and who has a proven track record of getting clients in the media? The third step is what stories do you want to give to this publicist? Just because you hire them doesn't mean they're going to run with it. You need to have information, stories, and content to be able to work with them. That also means you need human resources, time. You need time to work with that publicist. But once you're working with all 5 things, you want to track it. You want to make sure that media coming out is steady. If there's no media coming out about you, what can you do to solve it? Social media, are you keeping that populated with the content? Stakeholders, how frequently are communications going out to stakeholders? Google links, audit all Google links on the first 3 pages. Are they positive? What's negative? What are your detracting factors? What are some positive links? If you have detractors, how are we going to bury them? So look at all these things, build them into a communication strategy, and then tackle them. Work on them every single day. There should not be a day that goes by where you don't work on your online reputation, on your online presence. My name's Nader Nadernejad. These were 5 tips for corporations on how to boost their online reputation. If you're looking for online reputation management services, check out our website at nadernejadmedia.com. There's a number there, a form, and a bunch of great resources. I hope this video helped you. Thank you for watching.